What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've done the last footy video, it's been a couple of weeks, but finally we've got some, relevant topics to talk about. The other day, or very recently actually, the AFL have released their Magic Round, or Gather Round is what they call it. I'm probably just going to still refer to it as Magic Round, to be honest. And for those who are unsure sort of what the concept of the idea is, for those who don't know yet, it's the idea where there'll be a game of footy played in the same state for every game in one round. It'll be an extra round of footy on top of the 22 rounds this season, which means that next year there'll be 24 rounds and every team plays 23 games. It gives a chance for South Australia to have a round where they're able to, host every single footy game that round. But I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it and they think that there's no point. So yeah, let me know if you're a fan of it or not, but regardless, we're going to go through the actual games they've actually gone through and released all the games. And also, let's pretend the round starts tomorrow. Let's give our predictions, early predictions for what I think will happen in these games. So we've got the first game here at the Adelaide Oval. So most games will be played at the Adelaide Oval, obviously. First game is going to be played between Adelaide and Carlton, 7:10 p.m. local time, Thursday, April 13th. I was quite shocked when I saw this. I really did think they would go for the showdown. I know some were saying, speculating that the showdown won't actually happen, but I just thought it would make the most sense, having the showdown in a round where all the games are played in South Australia. You can finally actually have that primetime showdown, but I guess they elected not to. They wanted the primetime games to be played between other sides, and Adelaide are playing Carlton in this game, which I believe is a bit of an odd fixture for a Thursday night game to have Adelaide playing if it's not a showdown. But Adelaide probably do deserve that, time sort of if we're going to have a round all played in South Australia. Carlton a good side to play as well. I mean, we saw what they did last year, the Crows. They were able to beat the Blues in a bit of an upset. I think this will probably be the biggest turnout in terms of crowd for all the games, because you got the Adelaide home fans. They'll be in their home state, of course. They'll get the home game. And then Carlton, I feel like they'll come out in numbers for this one as well. So I think this will be a pretty good game. But if I had to go for a prediction, let's go Adelaide by 2. Something a bit different. So we've got the next game on the Friday. We've got 2 Friday games here, which is quite interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of 2 Friday games, particularly not for Magic Round or Gather Round. We've got Freo and Gold Coast at Norwood Oval, 4:40 p.m. on the Friday. Now, this is local time, but in WA, this game starts at 3:10 p.m. on a Friday. That is just absurd, to be honest. Like, why would they have the 4:40 game on a Friday be played between a Perth side when everyone in WA is still mostly going to be working? So, I don't know what people are going to do on that day. Are they going to take time off work? Is it just going to be, half the game of them that they just won't able to watch because of that? I think it's pretty poor fixturing on the AFL's behalf. But this is the first game away from the Adelaide Oval. It's not too far away from the Adelaide Oval. It's 3 kilometres away. So my intentions when I do go to Gather Round, I'll be going to probably 7 of the 9 games. I'll try and head to this game and then quickly head to the game after. But for this game, Freo v Gold Coast. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst game, but it's definitely a build-up for the next game. And if I went for a prediction, I think the Suns, they're going to win it. They'll be all right next year, I think. Now we head to the next game on the Friday as well. We've got a double header, and this is obviously the big game. The Freo Suns game was the build-up. This game at the Adelaide Oval, Richmond v Sydney. Definitely probably the most appealing fixture. I'd almost say the whole Gather Round fixture, but definitely as of so far, for sure, the most appealing. Obviously, these two sides played in the finals last year, and I think this year, again, there's a good chance these two sides could almost finish both in the top 4. But yeah, this should be a close game of footy. I'll hopefully get to this game and vlog it. We'll go Richmond by 7 in this game. We've then got 3 Saturday games. I'm a bit surprised that they've gone just the 3. I thought at the very least they'd go the 4. They've gone the 3, of course, the extra Friday game. The first game we've got, arguably the least interesting game of them all. We've got at the Adelaide Hills, which is like 25, 30 kilometres away from the Adelaide Oval. It's an absurd place to have the ground. You should see the Oval. I'll quickly show it to you. We've got Brisbane take on North Melbourne, 12:40 p.m. on the Saturday. This is actually my birthday. Obviously for this game though, not really too much to talk about. You'd expect the Lions to put a number on the Roos in this one. I feel like the Lions will win this game probably by 60 points. The next game, we've got Essendon and Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval. A bit of an interesting game to have it at like sort of the twilight time slot, 3:40 p.m. Essendon and Melbourne, I would have imagined they saved this game for the MCG, but again, these two sides don't really play off in the biggest crowds anymore. Their rivalry sort of lost now. It was back then in the olden days, but don't really think this game will be too interesting. I might give this game a miss, honestly, if I want to head to the game early at the Adelaide Hills. I think Melbourne probably win this game by 3 goals. I'll go 17 points as a prediction. And then this is probably the game that most will be waiting for on the Saturday. Only the 3 games. I'm a little bit disappointed the Saints aren't playing. It would have been pretty cool to say that I went to a Saints game on my birthday. But that won't be happening. It'll be Port Adelaide v Bulldogs instead at the Adelaide Oval, 7:20 p.m. on the Saturday. This should be a pretty interesting matchup. I think Port Adelaide will definitely improve as a side next year and definitely contend for the finals. I think they'll make it. And the Dogs look to be on the decline for this one. So in a way, you could argue this is a bit of an even matchup. I think definitely Port would be the favourites in this one. And with their home crowd and home fans, I'd imagine they win this game, and I'll go the Power to win it by 23. And I quickly want to touch up on the fact that I thought with the Adelaide Oval games, they would have more of a break between games. Because look at the first game, 3:40 PM. A typical footy game probably finishes 2.5 hours after it starts. So let's just say the game finishes at 6:10 PM. But the Port Bulldogs game starts an hour after the Essendon Melbourne game finishes. So I'm not too sure what they're going to do with tickets. Because, what, are they going to just evacuate everyone that went to Essendon Melbourne? They have to leave the ground just for the people going to Port Bulldogs to come in. Or it will just be like a one ticket for 2 games. But if that's the case, it's a head scratcher, because Port Adelaide are playing against the Dogs. They'll have all their home members and fans, securing a ticket. Like, what's it going to mean for Essendon v Melbourne? I don't know. It's a bit of a head scratcher. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do here. But it would have made more sense if they played the first game at 12:40 at Adelaide Oval and the second game at the Hills. I'm not too sure though. We head to the Sunday games though. We've got 3. The first one between the Cats and the Eagles, 12:40 PM. I doubt too many people are going to really be too keen on this matchup in terms of the two sides. You would expect the Cats to really put a number on the Eagles as well in this one. A second game where you'd probably expect to see smashing. I go Geelong by 68. I would have imagined that the Cats would have played the Eagles at GMHBA this season, but I guess it's going to be at Adelaide Oval instead. And the next game, we've got GWS v Hawthorn. I would arguably say this is the least interesting match of the entire fixture. You got two sides that are most likely going to finish bottom 4. Although, to be fair though, both sides are quite evenly matched, I believe, next year, so it could be a close game. You don't know. Unless you're a fan of either the Giants or the Hawks, or you just really are fond of Norwood Oval. No one's going to go to this game if you're in Adelaide for the gather round. You're going to either go to the first game or the second game, which are both played at the Adelaide Oval, and are both going to clash with these two games. So this is the first game of the round that actually clashes between other games. The Giants and the Hawks, not really too many people are going to be interested in this one. I really hope it's not the Channel 7 game. It'd be a dumb call to be the Channel 7 game, but normally the second Sunday game is the Channel 7 game, so we'll see what happens with this one. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really too keen on this one. I'll go the Giants by 20 as a bit of a prediction. And we've got the final game of the round. We've saved the best to last, you could argue. Not really, though. We've got the Pies and the Saints, 4:20 PM on the Sunday. Of course, as a Saints fan, this will be the game I'm looking forward to most. And I'm sort of glad that it's the last game of the round in a way. Because normally, 4:40 times, so it sort of sucks on the Sunday. But I'll be going to all these games. So if we played Thursday night and got hammered, my mood would be pretty down for the rest of the week. But if we get hammered, which we could, well and truly could get hammered against the Pies in this one, it won't affect my mood as much because the game's already done, the round's over, so it's not as bad. And I don't mind having to wait till the last game of the season. I know some others do, but I don't mind too much having to do so for the last game of the round. But this is probably going to be one of the more appealing matchups of the round. And I don't even think it's that appealing at all. It's just two Vic sides battling it out at the Adelaide Oval. But again, you see the two time differences between the games. Adelaide Oval, 12:40 PM for the Cats game. And then Collingwood Saints, 4:20 PM. So again, I don't know what they're going to do. Will one ticket be good for both games? I've got absolutely no idea what they're going to do. Let me know in the comments down below. And also, I just realised, what are they going to do with the rooms? Because the first game's Geelong v West Coast. When that game's still going on, the players for Collingwood St Kilda have to get into the rooms, but they'll be occupied already by Geelong v West Coast players. So I've got absolutely no idea what's going to happen in this one. If I give a prediction for the last game here, I'll go the Pies. I'm not going to be biased. We'll go the Pies and win it by 14. So there we go. Those were the rounds and the fixtures for Gather Round. I actually made my own prediction video earlier, a couple of weeks ago. I didn't get a single game right, funnily enough, which is quite interesting to point on. Yeah, I think these are a little bit underwhelming, some of these matchups. Like, they could have done a better job. I'm not a fan of the 2 Friday games. I'm not a fan of the very small gap between playing times, 4 games at the Adelaide Oval on Saturday and Sunday. And I would have imagined they'd have another Saturday game and the showdown. That would have made the most sense. But, you can't please everyone. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts if you're a fan of the concept, if you're a fan of the rounds, what game you're looking forward to most. And if you're going to be attending any of these games, because obviously I'll be heading over to Adelaide for this round. And my aim is to go to as many as I possibly can. So I'll have to probably give a couple games a skip, such as the Giants-Hawks game. But yeah, my intention is to try and go to as many games as I possibly can.